All right, welcome back. Chase Thomas Podcast, taping this on a Thursday morning. Parkview High School down there. The alumni. We're 2 alumni. I think that's just the rule now for Parkview. They have to go up to the alumni, whether it's Coach Eric Godfrey or the new coach. Who, look, I'm not going to date you, Joey Sturdivant, because I even going to call you Joe. Like, I want to even start. When do you transition from Joey Sturdivant to Joe? What age do some people still call you? Does Zeb McKenzie call you Joey still? Like, how does that work?
I think most of the people that I played with still call me Joey. You know what's funny is when I was growing up, my dad named me Joe Bob, Joseph Robert, so he can call me Joe Bob after the movie North Dallas 40, right? Somehow it so I was, my family always called me Joe or JoJo, and then Coach Flo is actually who started calling me Joey. And so Joey Sturdivant actually came from Coach Flo naming me that, and that just kind of stuck. So all my teammates still call me Joey, and I guess I'm back. It doesn't matter to me. You know?
I like it. I mean, it's funny because, I mean, it was you, and I think his name was Colby Covington, or what? Not Colby Covington. It was something Covington.
Chris Covington?
Yes, Chris Covington.
Yeah.
Y'all were just super fast running backs in that early 2000s era where, look, I'm like 10, 11 years old at this point, and I'm at the games, and it was just super cool with obviously the dynasty and being a part of the three-peat and being there for that. What is your fondest memory of that era and your time at Tennessee? I'm at Tennessee at Parkview.
I would just say the group of guys that we had that played together since we were 8 years old. You know, we had those guys, we'd all been together and fought a lot of battles. And I would say, you know, I kind of said this at our first parents meeting. It was the feeling after we won the championship. It wasn't, hey, we're so excited we just won. It was the exhaustion that came out. So the things that we did to accomplish that were unreal. You know, the sacrifices that we made for each other, the bond that was created. I mean, I wouldn't trade those memories for anything. And I think that's the special part about high school football is, you know, these relationships that you make now last the rest of your life. You know, it was pretty awesome. You know, we never lost a game. I'd say that's a pretty good memory to have. And then, you know, I'd say we had some really special moments. You know, the Northside Warner Robins game in Warner Robins, the entire town shut down was there. You know, the lights go out and we played it was a knockdown, drag out fight the whole entire game, back and forth. And then the following year they come up here and have the same exact scenario. Those were always fun battles. And then, you know, I just say, you know, one of my favorite memories was being a sophomore with all the seniors we had that first time that we made the run. And just playing with that group of guys, there was just a toughness about them. You know, just watching how they carried themselves and they approached practice. That was what carried us through that three-peat run was those guys and setting the standard of what it looks like to be a high school football player in my mind, right? It's like just an inherent toughness, a physicality, and just a refusal. We're not going to lose. You know, that wasn't even an option in our minds. And that was instilled in us from a young age, from the guys that had come through before me.
Does that make coaching kind of weird or anything after where it's like, I don't even know what losing's really like that kind of dynasty where you just dominate? I mean, it was just that time period. It was just bonkers. Like even when you're watching on GPB in the dome and everything, and you're just assuming every Friday night you're going to win. Like when you just go around, you're like, all right, is this one going to be over at the second quarter? Is it going to be over at the third quarter? Or are they going to just do the Alabama crock potting here? Like how is this one going to go? But knowing the result is probably going to be in Parkview's favor. What did that do for you?
So, you know, I thought we did really well, and Coach Flo and our coaches always did for us. We always treated whoever we played like they're the best team we are ever going to play. And we were going to get their best game that they were ever going to play. Yeah. That we had a target on our back. So we found ways to not like our opponent. So there was never a game that I went into going, hey, we're just going to kick their butt. We knew we were going to win. It was more a matter of how much. right? And so I think that was the attitude we always approached. Like, these guys are really good. They have, at any point a football game, something can happen. Can you weather the storm and be willing to sacrifice for 4 quarters or overtime or whatever it takes to win a game? And I felt like that is carried over as a coach, that we're always going to approach every opponent like they're the best team we're going to play that week, right? And so it's just a mindset and the attitude. And I like to carry that as a coach. Like, I don't know how to lose. I don't do it well. I don't plan on doing it. I know it's part of the game and it happens, but I'd rather approach it with my goal set high and barely miss than set them low and land right on them, And so I feel like that's the mindset that's carried with me everywhere I've gone as a football coach. We're going to figure out a way to win, and every opponent that we play is like the championship game.
All-time best number 12, Gustafson or Francoeur? You have to answer this honestly.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
It all depends. It all depends.
Yeah.
But of course, Jeff Francoeur is one of the greatest athletes to ever walk on a sports field in general.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what sport it is. If it has a ball, he was going to be the best. And Tim was the same way. They both had the right mindset to approach sports, approach the game. But Jeff was just and the attitude was always contagious. Yeah. It was always contagious. It was just something about him when he walked on a field, the way he walked, the way he carried himself, the way he talks to people. It was always contagious.
Do y'all still keep up with each other?
A little bit. bit. It's been hard because I went away to Europe, and that kind of put keeping my relationships with all my former teammates made it really hard. I was on a different time zone. I know we have Facebook and all the social media stuff, but I have not done the best job of trying to keep up with everybody. So now I'm back. I'm trying to track everybody down. I'm sorry.
So we're going to see some people back maybe this fall. We're going to.
Sure hope so. That's goal number 1 is to get everybody back to Parkview and wearing orange, and just remembering how special of a place this place is.
Absolutely. Where are you at in spring prep? How's spring practice going? Do you feel fully acclimated? What stage? Because I know just talking to different coaches, they have different phases for their program year round. What phase are you in? Or are you pretty comfortable with where you're at?
So right now I'm in phase of figuring it all out. Right? What can everybody do? Having one-on-ones with my coaching staff, group meetings. We're watching film together. I want to see what have we been doing in the past. Where can I step in and fix things so we're not pulling Band-Aids off, right? Or not just ripping the Band-Aid off. We're actually being strategic about any changes that need to be made. Trying to pull the kids in one at a time for one-on-one meetings, and then watching them work out and then making the adjustments there. That's typically where I come in is changing attitudes and understanding of what it takes to be successful, not just here, but for the rest of your life, and instilling that mindset. So really working hard in the weight room, and then also making sure that these guys know that I support them playing other sports. We got kids playing baseball, lacrosse, running track, and that make sure we're utilizing those coaches that we have here that are so special. Go play another sport, be a kid. And then the preparation for spring, we won't start spring ball until middle 2 weeks of May. So that gives me a little bit of time to make sure we have everything prepared, that our coaches know exactly what we want to be taught, or what the techniques we want to be teaching, exactly what we want to accomplish. So going a little slower right now. I don't want to jump into anything without being extremely prepared for it. But I believe it's going pretty well. I've seen some changes in our kids, the way we're working out, the way we hustle from point A to point B. And the same thing with the coaches. I think we're all excited to get going, right? To actually start working with the kids and installing stuff in the spring.
If you had to describe your offense in 30 seconds or less, how would you do it?
I would say I want to make the defensive coordinator throw his headset. So whatever that makes a defensive coach mad, I want to do that. All right. Try to find the dent and then open it. Put more people at the point of attack than they have. Try to put the ball where the defense is not. It's not the plays, it's the mindset. It's the defense can't be divided into thirds. So make them defend 3 areas, and they have to play show and tell. I like to explain it like it's fishing. You put on a spoon, that's more your search bait, right? And so we do things to create a search bait, get your checks, and then start attacking it. That would probably be my 30-second speech. Of course, I want the ball to go from point A to point B as fast as possible. And to do that, you got to be able to run the football.
So we're going to see some tempo? This is going to be a fast offense?
Yes. I mean, we're going to practice fast. I mean, that is the name of the game for us is practice as fast as we possibly can. But I believe that changing tempo is more important than just being straight tempo. So I want the defense to constantly have to feel, when do I make the calls? When do I make the checks? I want to work against the defensive coordinator, right? And not just give him, hey, look, this is how we're lining up. Sometimes when you line up fast, you're also giving information fast. So I want to be able to manipulate that piece, change our pace back and forth. But the way we practice, though, we're always working at light speed.
Well, it's interesting, too, because you're running back by nature, and you see a lot of coaches. I mean, just quarterback is obvious. Defensive back is another common one. Wide receiver. You don't see as many running back head coaches. So but why is that a help for you? Why is that a interesting wrinkle that has been beneficial for you as an offensive coach, play caller, and just how you've kind of put your offense together, being a running back by just what your experience was?
Yeah, so the running backs they have to know everything, right? And they got to be part of the pass game. So you got to know all the check down routes. You got to know your vertical routes when you get moved into motion. Because a lot of stuff that we did when I was a player, I was also lining up as a receiver.
Yeah,
right. And you got to know the concepts. So you have to know basically the entire playbook. Because then in the pass protection, you got to know all the protections. You got to know where you got to be. You have to identify the hots because most of the time you're the hot guy, right? You got to know who's blitzing. If it's single high, they can bring 2 extra now. If it's too high, they can only bring 1. So you have to know a defense. And then you have to know the blocking schemes for the offensive line, right? So you have to know so running backs have to know so much more than they get credit for, right? And then you have to understand the defensive front. Where's the 3 technique? Where's the 1 tech? Are they in a 3-man, an odd front or even? So those holes, just because it's called to a B gap or a B gap play or C gap play, doesn't mean that's where that location is going to be based off their defensive front, right? Especially 3-man fronts that slant, that gap's going to be changing. So I feel like playing running back gave me a great understanding of having to master the entire playbook. And when I learn things and I learn other people's stuff, I don't want to just learn a play. I want to learn the whole scheme, the whole scenario that's trying to be played out. And so I take that approach as a coach now, is that when I teach something, I don't just teach, hey, here's your job. I teach the entire, here's what we're trying to do. Here's how we're trying to manipulate the defense. Here's your role in that. But you need to know what everybody else is doing for yourself to be successful, right? So we try to teach it as a whole first, and then work into individual time.
I like it. Most exciting part about coaching Mike Matthews for you out of the gate is going to be what?
Well, I just like his personality. Seems like a great kid, right? Just a yes or no, sir. Young man who seems to have a great understanding and knowledge of the game of football. Also, an excellent basketball player. So I love those two sport guys because they love to compete. I'd say the biggest thing for him and what I'm excited about is creating one-on-one matchups. His leaping abilities, his ability to go up and get a ball, to make plays in space. So I'm excited about the different ways we can manipulate the defense and put them in opportunities to create one-on-ones.
Spring matchup that you're most excited about for you ahead. So you got a little over a month to get ready for it. But what position battle are you most excited about seeing play out?
Do you mean when we go against each other, or
against each other and just saying,
Yeah, I would say I'm interested to see our offensive line going against our defensive line. We do Ira Singleton, so it's going to be a really good defensive end for us. We do have an offensive line that's been together. This is their 3rd year. So I can't wait to see their growth from last year on film to what we're going to be doing. And, seeing how our defense line, that we got a couple holes to fill, some seniors that have graduated, right? So we have some younger guys stepping up. We do have a really good freshman that's that will be a sophomore that got to play as a freshman last year. So I'm excited to see how our D-line holds up against a veteran offensive line group. Then, of course, we got really good defensive backs and really good wide receivers. So those one-on-ones in practice should be pretty exciting to watch, and then those 7-on-7s and perimeter games should be pretty interesting. But I think we all know that battle will be good. But I'm really excited about seeing how physical we actually are at the point of attack.
When does the schedule come out for next year?
It's out. So
is it out?
We have it up on our website right now.
Okay. I was looking at Max Prep, so I was trying to find it, and I was like, I don't see it. Okay, so it's on there. So what's the most intriguing game for you out of the gate? What are you most excited about?
Well, of course, Brookwood, because they're our rival.
Have you talked to Coach Jones at all since you got the job?
Got to shake his hand and meet him a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Of course, Brookwood's one you always circle because they're a rivalry game. And then Mill Creek, of course, the defending state champions. I'm excited, of course, to play Grayson. They're right down the road. I'd say we have a really good schedule. The opener against Kell should be pretty interesting to play. Both teams coming right off of camp. Anything can happen in those early games. So excited to see what they have coming back, and they have a great coaching staff there. But I'd say looking through our schedule, everybody's is on the up and up too. South Gwinnett, great coach there. Look forward to playing those guys. So really, when I look through our schedule, hey, this is a fun group of guys to play against. They're going to be well coached. So I think every week we got to make sure we're well prepared.
Who put Grayson and Brookwood back to back for y'all to close the year? Who's in charge of this? I need to talk to him. Let me get him on the phone. And that's not how you end the skit. You got to break that up a little bit.
Hey, it is what it is. To me, it's they're just another color jersey when it comes game time, right?
Yeah,
it's just another.
But also,
color
just
jersey.
flip. How is Brookwood not last? They do this. I remember I was talking to Coach Jones about this a couple of years ago. They had Parkview Brookwood in the middle of the calendar a couple of years ago. I'm like, what are we doing? How is this being moved? That should just not be touched. It's the last game of the season. What are we doing? Why is that ever being manipulated? The Battle of Five Forks should never actually be touched. That's the easy one.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll work on that in the future.
There you go. Coach, how do the good folks keep up with everything Parkview football going into the spring? So for the local Lilburn Knights, Stone Mountain Knights, how do they contribute and come see y'all this spring and support the program?
Sure. So parkviewfb.com, that's our website. And then, of course, our social media, Parkview Football on Facebook and Twitter. Our guys do a great job on social media to keep everybody up to date on what's going on recruiting wise, and then our schedules will be posted, and spring schedules and all that stuff will be coming out. So
there you go. It's exciting stuff. Well, congratulations again on the position, Coach. I'm excited to see what you got cooking this fall for the alumni. A lot of Parkview Panthers very excited to see you back
Absolutely.
home.
Need them all back. Need everybody to come back and join us and be here on Friday nights for sure.
I'm gonna make it for one of the games this fall. Is Parkview Brookwood at Parkview, or is it Brookwood this year?
I believe we're at home this year, right?
Let me see. It is. Yeah, no, you're at Brookwood.
At Brookwood, yep.
And home Grayson. There you go. Maybe it's Grayson I come back for. There you go. Well, Coach, thank you so much for making the time today. I greatly appreciate it. Good luck this spring, and we'll have to reconnect when football is right around the corner.
Absolutely. Anytime. Thank you, Chase. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
Take care.